Did y'all know they over in Mexico tearing white people's asses up right now?
Mexicans deporting Americans is the funniest thing I've learned this year so far.
Mexico is now deporting Americans out of Mexico.
This is too funny to me. Can you imagine Mexico actually doing some big deportation of Americans? They are deporting Americans.
U.S. citizens are being denied entry into Mexico.
Mexico has officially flipped the script on Americans because now they are the ones deporting Americans back to the US for not having proper documentation. Oh my God, how the tables have turned.
Did y'all know they over in Mexico tearing white people's asses up right now? If you don't believe me, you can go look it up. But the Mexicans that are in Mexico are literally coming after people who are claiming to be nomads. You know, all those boomers who have now retired and are looking for a cheaper place to live with their retirement. They decided to go to Mexico and try to gentrify Mexico. And they said, no, sir, no, ma'am. The Mexican people are going through their cities where they've built all these places of shops and restaurants, and they are breaking everything. They are blaming this boomer generation and these digital nomads for the reasons why the price of living is going up. They say that over the last 5 years, just rent alone has gone up 43% because of them. They said that because of them, they are now having to choose between groceries, rent, and electricity. And they didn't waste no time telling them, get the fuck out. They even said they was coming on their beaches telling them that their mariachi bands can't play their music. The nerve. That's a cultural thing that's been going on there forever. Why would you think you get to go to someone else's country and tell them what to do? There was even one of the protesters who was quoted stating, this is how colonialism works, and we're going to put a stop to it before it ever even happens, honey. And they don't look like they're joking around, busting windows straight out, honey.
This is too funny to me. Can you imagine Mexico actually doing some big deportation of Americans? They are deporting Americans. Now, let me just say this. I saw a video a while back where this Mexican was saying that sometimes some of them be laughing at America because cost of living is so cheap. Like, no matter what their income is, they're living a good life. They got money. Nice houses, nice home, because cost of living is so cheap, right? And of course, I looked at it, keep on moving, because I ain't doing that kidnapping stuff. But neither here or there. Evidently, some how can I say it? Some white people is over there causing trouble. Now, I thought, right, for y'all who saw the videos, that they were travelers, they were tourist people over there on vacation. No, y'all. These are people that have moved to Mexico, living in Mexico because cost of living is cheap and they could afford to live in Mexico. And they even said that some of them is over there, they working from home. In other words, they have like American jobs, but they're living over there, right? Because they're working from home. But neither here or there, they over there living off that cheap cost of living because they could afford to do it. But they ain't got no papers. They are considered illegal immigrants. Yeah, you get where this is going at, right? So, yeah, they're deporting Americans from Mexico. Now, I do hope, Lord, I do hope they're not putting them in cages the way Americans do Mexicans and these other people when they want to capture them at the border. And I also wonder, quick question, are these the same people that come back to America during an election and vote against the Mexican? Now, my video is not about immigrants and should nobody vote against the Mexicans and blah, blah, blah. Because y'all know that's what it is. Hey, Mexico's this, that, and whatever, right? But yet y'all taking y'all little happy behind over there living off the Mexican land. And now they deport y'all because y'all want to treat Mexico like Miami. That's all I'm saying.
Mexicans deporting Americans is the funniest thing I've learned this year so far. Apparently, Mexican authorities are deporting Americans who have colonized along the beaches and nicer areas of Mexico who do not have the proper documentation. So yes, they've been deporting them back to the States. And you know, it's ironic because Americans are like, oh, pack up your bags, you gotta go home or whatever. And well, the Americans who have thought to exhaust Mexican resources and go live the cheap life, right? In nice areas, well, pack up your bags and let's wrap it up.
U.S. citizens are being denied entry into Mexico. Check out this video.
Today we're in Mexico, they're not letting us in.
Todos los que son nacidos en Estados Unidos traen un pasaporte, sí o sí pasaporte.
Today we're walking into Mexico and we're getting denied entry. Check it out.
Tienen que traer un pasaporte, sí o sí pasaporte.
Did you hear about that? Mexico is now deporting Americans out of Mexico. All you ones that want to go be happy the immigrants are being deported and then go visit Mexico or live in Mexico while you run your business here in America, them days are over. Y'all want to laugh at the immigrants for being deported? Are they laughing at you? Bye. Get out of Mexico. And the president of Mexico is welcoming all the immigrants back home. Please come home. We welcome you with loving arms, she said. Y'all gonna see the tides are gonna change. These immigrants are gonna stop being treated the way y'all treating them and laughing at them and locking them up, detaining them and beating them. Them days are over. Mexico is fighting back and they're gonna deport you from their country. And I hope it's one of you megas that are so happy they getting deported. I hope it's one of you that get deported from Mexico. Bye.
Take a look at this video.
Mexicans want Americans to self-deport themselves out of Mexico. Yes, you heard me right.
Kind of a lot of yapping.
Sounds kind of familiar, right? We had a mass invasion here. Now we're trying to send people out of our country. Mexico's doing the same thing.
She goes on to tell you how, they may be getting violent, blah, blah, blah. Look at this.
Let me know your thoughts on this.
I'll tell you what I think, what I know, right? So America, we've always exploited other countries. For manufacturing first, it was like China, whatever. And then it's Mexico, just looking for another leg up or whatever, right? Here's the difference. So Mexicans are coming here for a better life. America, we're one of the wealthiest countries in the world. People in our country go to their country. We're basically exploiting them. It's mostly people are going there for a cheaper cost of living. A lot of people down there, unfortunately, don't even respect the culture. That type of, they don't respect the people. It's kind of like what you see in Chicago. You go to certain little pocket neighborhoods like Pilsen, or look at how Logan Square has gentrified, right? A lot of the people that used to live there can't anymore. Or like Seattle when the tech boom happened. Unlike what we do to them to gentrify and make things more expensive and more difficult for the people that live there, Mexicans come to America. They actually make the American economy way stronger. They make it so we are like basically a superpower, that we stay a superpower. Without Mexicans doing all the jobs that we don't want to do, we would not be where we are right now. So again, Americans go to Mexico to make the country worse. Cost of living goes up. Mexicans come to America to keep our cost of living from going up. Do you understand?
Rent in the past 5 years has increased by 47%.
So this is what happens when you get caught in Mexico. How did they even find me in the first place? I was coming back from a concert in a bus stop at a toll booth. Some guy came in asking for ID. I showed him my California ID, but I didn't have my passport. Next thing I knew, I was in a van. I got to the immigration office. They patted me down, took away all my belongings. They looked me up and they saw that I overstayed my 180-day tourist visa. Long story short, they didn't let me leave the immigration office until I bought my ticket to go back to the USA, which is crazy because I already have my dual citizenship in process, but it's not complete yet. That could be why it didn't show up in the system. The closest flight I could get had multiple stops. Before I went to LA, I stopped at Monterrey. I thought it was going to be a smooth process going back to the United States, but then this happened. I didn't get my little paper stamp that they give you when you enter the country, so I ended up missing my flight. And anyone that overstays their 180 days, you have to pay a fee of 717 pesos, which is $35. But since I'm being kicked out of the country, I didn't have to pay that Anyways, fee. They got me another multiple stop flight, so it took me 2 more flights before I got back to the United States. Yes, and once I saw the Edgar cuts and the LA outfit, I landed back to the motherland.
I just got escorted off of a flight as an American in LAX. I went through TSA, had my boarding pass, was heading on the way to Mexico, and my boarding pass was not working. So they pulled me to the side with a couple of other people and reprinted out my boarding pass and sent me on my way to the flight. So I'm thinking, off we go. My original boarding pass didn't say anything to do with security checks. I asked the airline when it didn't work. There was just something wrong with the boarding pass, like the piece of paper. So they printed a new one out, and it said nothing to do with having extra security checks. So I don't even know where this came from. I'm sitting in my seat on the flight, actually fast asleep, probably snoring, and somebody taps me on the shoulder and is like, "Hey, we're gonna have to escort you off the flight." And I'm like, "What for?" They're like, "Oh, we need to send you through TSA." I already went through TSA. Also, just to add in here that on the way through to TSA, they did pat me down already. So, anyways, I get off the flight and I'm irritated at this point because I'm traveling on a group trip. The flight's about to leave and they're going to leave me in LAX. Then proceed to tell me that they have chosen me at random to go through TSA again for some extra checks, and that they picked 29 people on the flight, which all got extra checked for whatever reason. But for some reason, they didn't extra check me, even though I got patted down, and they had to come and get me from the flight, to get me off the flight, to go back to TSA, to go have a full pat down, because I was one of the people they picked. Now, I know that it's not the airline's fault. It's really like the TSA being so unprofessional and not having their shit together. But it's obviously ruined my travel day now. I'm gonna have to get on a later flight or whatever, inconvenience, whatever. But that has never happened to me before. And it just feels so odd being in Trump's America, because it's quite interesting that it was a Mexican airline and we're going to Mexico, and you've picked 29 Americans to do these extra checks on. Like, they were down in TSA, like, touching all up on me. Touching all the crevices. So yeah, this is just a new, I guess this is like the new vibes. Because after all the years that I've traveled, all the years that I have been on flights, gone to all different places in the world, I have never in my life had somebody come on the flight to escort me off of the flight right before it's about to take off, because they need to do extra security checks after I already went through security. As an American in the country that I live in, like, it just doesn't make sense. Just like nothing that is going on in the government right now makes any sense.
I honestly respect Mexico for this, because she can't be living in my house while looking down on me. It makes no sense. You want to look down on me, then you get out. And I'm so happy that they're showing Americans or Trump that you guys are not the only ones that know how to deport people. If you don't have proper documentation, we too can deport. We too have a country, we have systems that work. You guys are not the only ones that have a country. You can also deport. Yeah, you guys cannot be living free in our country. Whereas you guys are deporting us from your country to have to go back to your country. So guys, that's all I have for my table on this video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and please like the video. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.